Okay, with this video, you will want a yoga block and you will want a yoga mat. We're going to be doing a really nice hip and back release as we're working on our breathing. So the breathing practice here is keeping a nice rest breath and being intentional about where the breath is going and what is moving. So the diaphragm is the primary mover, so this is the action piece, and the abdominals and the pelvic floor really are just coming along for the ride. So there's going to be movement there, and the idea is to allow it to move. It doesn't mean you're doing excessive breath into there, it's just moving. So what we want to do, we're doing a rest position, so our breath is a rest breath. So it's basically the breath that we would use as we're laying down and prep for sleep. We're just going to be more intentional about getting that breath into not just the front, the rise, it's that three-dimensional canister. We want to allow those muscles to yield. So pelvic floor and abs are yielding in the action of the diaphragm. Now, a lot of times what happens when we add a new skill, or we have, we're thinking or we're moving, what happens is we stop and we hold our breath, or we hold tension in other parts. So this is a great position to work on connecting with the rest, and that's rest of the muscle system, as there is breath. So when we start to move, sometimes our old habits kick in and we over effort things. So this is a practice of, can we keep the flow of the breath, and can we keep the muscles of the rib cage and the neck relaxed as we begin to move our arms. So let's go through this. One of the things that I encourage is to do a before and after. We're checking tension. So as we lay onto the back, noticing that the start position, where or how is your back meeting the floor. And so if there's a big arch, there's excessive tone in those muscles. We're not going to a rest length of those extensors. So that there are other things to look at, but that's a big one to notice. So we're going to take the rolled yoga mat and put it under the hips. So we have our sacrum on top of the yoga mat. We're going to start with just connecting to the rhythm of the breath cycle. And less is more here. So we're just laying here. So our breath should match our effort. There's not a lot of effort here. So we're resting here on the floor, breathing. The diaphragm is active, the abdominals, and that's this canister all the way around, and the pelvic floor are moving along with it. So basically they're yielding or deforming to the active motion of the diaphragm. So let's practice that for 3 to 5 minutes. I'm not going to take the time here. I'm going to do a few breath cycles, and then we'll get into the arm movement. So this is really about finding your rhythm, noticing what the tone is like in your neck, what the tone is like in your muscles that support your rib cage, your intercostals, and just see if you can find ease in your breathing here. Now we're going to take the block and we're going to bend the elbows. We're going to place the block between our hands. So the palms are going to be facing our face to begin with. Fingers are straight, elbows are bent. Find that relaxed place. Keep the elbows bent as we're going to start to lift the arms up and kind of rainbow over the head. So elbows are going to stay bent, shoulders are moving. And as we start to lift, noticing, can we keep the rhythm of our breath? And are we starting to activate our neck muscles? So we want to keep our neck muscles nice and soft. Noticing the elbows, so the elbows are staying in the chain of the shoulder. Now, a lot of times as we start to bring the arms overhead, there's a tendency to want to arch and use the back muscles, which we use so much during the day. And we're really wanting to work on shoulder movement. So notice as you're starting to bring the block overhead, if you're wanting to pitch your rib cage. We don't want to do it. It stays relaxed. Everything is relaxed, and what's moving are the shoulders. Keeping a steady flow with the breath. Then once the block hits the ground, we're going to bring the elbows straight. So there's going to be not hyperextend straight, but a soft bend in the elbow. Keeping the elbow creases and the palms still, now they're going to be, rather than facing your face, they're kind of facing the floor. So let this be about shoulder motion still. Now for me, I'm kind of tight in my shoulders, and I really want right now to lift my, kind of pitch up my rib cage. Notice if that's happening for you. Notice if you're wanting to bend your elbows to make it easier again. So just kind of notice, you're only going to go as far as you can. You will have a little bend in your elbows, but not the 90 degree. I'm noticing I'm wanting to do some weird things with my abdomen. I'm wanting to suck in my gut and everything like that. So we're just noticing, can we keep the breath even? We're moving our arms. We're not doing a big cardio here, so the breath should stay steady. Keep checking if you want to bend your elbows. That's my strategy to avoid the tension in the forearm. And then what you would do is you would work to bringing your block to the floor. Now this is going to change day to day. I'm kind of stiff this morning, so I haven't really moved around a lot. And I'm just going to call this good right now for the demo. And I'm having to kind of keep checking my elbows because I'm wanting to bend them to make it easier. I know I can do that. So just stop where your tissues are going to allow you to move. Be here and come back down. So what you want to do is do a few sets of that. Maybe find and resettle, find your ease again, and then do another round. So this is a great way to play with what does your body tend to do when you do something new. And our tendency is to hold our breath and to tense up. So we're wanting to find the flow. We're wanting to find the flow within to create new neural pathways. So before you get up, check yourself, because this is very rewarding to notice that after you've been on this block, you're in a release position and you're working on your breathing, your tensions have changed. So my back is more in contact with the floor. There's more of me meeting the ground. So have fun with that and explore.